Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I want to talk about the worst legendaries in this game. Because recently, we all know that Playroom is going to do a champion rebalance very soon, right? So I'm going to send this video to Playroom. I'm going to talking about the champions that are kind of useless right now and desperately needs a buff. So I will only make like realistic suggestions in this video. For example, if I say like just make Baron's secret skill to be a skill with cooldown, that's just unrealistic, so I'm not gonna make suggestions like that. And I will go through all these factions and kind of share with you guys some of my thoughts about the worst legendaries in the game. So it's gonna be a fun one, and let's get into it. Alright, so the first one is Bannerlords. I think my clanmates are going to make fun of me for making a video. Just click through the index. So for the Bannerlord, and I will try not to talk about the champions I don't have, because they might be very good. Okay, so I'll try to avoid the champions that I don't have. So here I think Cillian needs a buff because he used to be a fusion. I don't think he's good enough. So his skills are completely single target, and the main usage of him is single target CC. So that's not good enough. As a legendary champion, you can either be AoE crowd control champion or single target damage dealing champion. If it's a single target crowd control champion, that's just not good enough. So they either make him do a lot more damage or make these effects AoE. So that's just my suggestion. And I think these champions are fine. Richthof is fine. I know 69born made a video using Richthof in a 1 minute Fahrenheit 25 team. So he's probably very good. And then it's obviously Baron. I think he is the second worst legendary, second worst Void legendary at the moment. I will talk about the worst Void legendary very soon. So he's the second worst for now, and his stats are just very outdated. Like, this is just very old. I remember when I first started play Racial Legends, I see a lot of ads on the website advertising me to buy an account with Baron, the best champion in the game. So obviously a very old champion, and all his skills are single target. And this just like this is kind of similar to Turvold H3, right? Damage increase according to the number of buffs on this champion, but it just doesn't hit as near Turvold. It's probably like half of Turvold's damage. And this one, a decreased defense that cannot be resisted, always really good, but it's single target, and he's a Void legendary. Like, Ghostborn has an AoE decreased defense that cannot be resisted. So what I would say is just make this one AoE. And yeah, if they just make this decreased defense that cannot be resisted AoE, I think he's gonna be fine. And honestly, I think this secret skill will not get any change. Player is not gonna do anything about this. So I don't even bother talking about this skill. So just making the rest of his kit a little bit better, and maybe just give him a little bit more speed. 90 speed is just not enough. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the Bannerlord faction. Then let's go to High Elves. Obviously this guy here, right? Probably the worst fusion in past 2 years. And she was a Christmas fusion. Look at this rating. Absolutely terrible. Like, Christmas is when we all should have fun, and Playerman just made a fusion like absolute terribly garbage champion give us as a fusion. I think the reason they did it because in the previous year, which is 2019, Torment was the Christmas fusion. Torment was so good, so in the year of 2020 they just kind of have to make a garbage Christmas fusion to just kind of balance out. That's how I feel. And she's just not good. Not good. Attack 5 times at random, each hit has a chance to place freeze. I mean, just make it AoE freeze. She's a legendary champion, and her passive is gonna take freeze for the teammates, but it's not 100%, so it's kind of silly. Just make it 100%, so my team does not have to worry about getting freeze, and that's pretty much it. That's my suggestion. And the rest of the champion for the High Elves are kind of okay. Maybe just Basilis Roanas. This champion probably needs a little bit love. Like, she's not bad. She's not like terrible champion. Maybe just do something to make her a little bit more viable for endgame content. And that's pretty much it. The high elf are mostly okay, except Fixed Neil. So then Sacred Order. I know Arrow is, a lot of people are saying that Arrow needs a little bit of love, but like I said, I don't have the champion, so I will try not to talk about the champions I don't have. So I think for these champions that I own, all of them are very solid. And let's go to Barbarian. For the champion here, I think Kendra, maybe. Like, I know people are saying that she's very good in terms of fusion champion, but like, I don't see her being used anywhere in the game. Like she's not even in my faction war team. Like, I don't think this is good enough. Each hit has 40% chance to steal one random buff. Like Tila Gorman has an A1 that steal one random buff with 100% chance. So this is not good enough. And all these buffs, but doesn't have a decreased defense. So I think they should put a decreased defense here, and it just makes more sense. So yeah, that's just my suggestion. Probably she's a good champion, but a buff would be appreciated. And then these are fine. Okay, now let's talk about the worst Void Legendary in the game. It's such a shame because this guy he is the only champion in the entire game that has a unique background. You see, this background is different from other champions in the same faction, right? And yeah, he's the only champion in the game that has this treatment. But unfortunately, he is garbage. Like absolute garbage. Worst legendary in the game. Can be used nowhere unless you have god tier gear on him, and you can use him in faction wars. He's in my faction war team, okay? And his skill like is weird because he actually has decent multiplier. But if you gonna build him, if he's gonna play freeze by himself, obviously he's gonna need accuracy. But if you build him with accuracy, you're not gonna get a lot of damage out of him. But if you don't build him with accuracy, then he's not gonna have enough accuracy to play freeze. So yeah, he just needs some love. Absolutely needs some love. Especially one of the coolest looking legendary in the game just cannot be the worst legendary. That's just how it is. Alright, then let's take a look at Garen Pact, Ogryn Tribe. Alright, War Mother. I think player need to do a fundamental change about bump mechanic. Like, no matter how they buff their champion, if they don't change the bump mechanic, she's not gonna be solid. So what I would suggest player to do is make any champion with bump mechanic, make this debuff cannot be resisted. That's just how I suggest player to do. It has nothing to do with the champion that has this mechanic. Just make this debuff cannot be resisted for any champion in this game that has this debuff. Then they will be usable. Because if it can be resisted, you're gonna build accuracy. If you build accuracy, you're not gonna push attack on this champion. That's just how it is. So yeah, I would rather say buff bump than buff War Mother. So I think the rest are fine. All these champions are very solid right now. And then Lizardman. Alright, I think probably Vagal, Skull or Vagal. Like, I know a lot of people uses this champion on their faction war team, but as a legendary, he's not good enough because the only reason that he's in your faction war team is this passive. He's gonna revive Skullsworn and just kind of cheese the stage 21 boss, right? But as a legendary champion, he needs to do more than just a passive. So like, just probably make this, they either make this an AoE strengthen or make this AoE provoked. Then he'll be good enough. Alright, now obviously I will not miss this champion, Virgul Makar. He was a fusion, but was a terrible fusion. This is absolute dog shit champion that cannot be used anywhere. Like, I don't even suggest you guys to bring him to the faction war team. There are still many good Lizardman epics. I would really rather go with these epics than Virgul Mar. Like he's just not even has a shitty skill kit. He also looks like shit. That's another problem. So he definitely needs some love, and I don't even know how to buff him. And then the Skinwalker. I think the only champion here that needs a buff is Warchief. I think Plarium has done countless tunes about Warchief, but none of that seems to fix this champion. And I think at this point, Plarium just kind of have given up on this champion. They don't even know what to do with him. So, like, this reflect damage is not gonna work. And, well, attack one enemy 3 times, that's good. Like, probably just make this one an AoE provoke. Just like, attack all enemy, plays provoke. And this book seems really stupid. Just remove this level 2 and level 3. Just make this skill requires 4 books. And that's pretty much it. And then the orcs. Alright, Growhark. Like, I honestly think that Growhark's skill kit makes perfect sense. But all he needs is a little bit more multiplier. Like, his skill, if we don't know his multiplier, I think this is a good champion. Like, all these skills make sense and has a very good speed aura in dungeons. Yeah, so about this champion, I don't think they need to do anything about skill. Just give him like 30% more damage and that's it. Alright, now it comes to my opinion, the worst legendary across the entire game. If you guys watch my videos on my channel, like I talked about a lot. Sometimes I mention a lot about this champion because this champion has been the worst legendary in the game for me for a long time. Look at this. Attack one enemy, steal random buff. Like, I guess this is okay. At least it's just 100% chance to steal one random buff, right? This one, attack one enemy, plays HP burn. Like, this is a legendary champion. At least make it like attack 2 times or 3 times and plays HP burn. Like, she is the only legendary in the game that has a single target HP burn debuff. So yeah, I guess that just kind of makes her unique, right? But it's not good enough. And then this one plays leash and heal reduction. Not good enough. Like, make it a weaken or defense down something. And then then her base speed 92. Not good enough. But you know what? Maybe she's good for new player. Who knows, right? Alright, then it's King Garog. Like, this champion's problem is kind of similar to Growhark. I think his skill kit makes sense, and his stats are very good. All he needs is a little bit more damage multiplier. So it's gonna be a simple fix. Just give him 30% more damage, and it's done. And yeah, I think these are fine. A lot of people might say that Nogdar is a shitty champion, but I think he's solid. He just looks like shit, but he actually has very solid skill kit. So I'm not gonna say they really need to buff him. Alright, then let's move on to the Corrupted Demonspawn. I think all the Demonspawn champions are kinda good, to be honest. I don't have Low Shazar, but like I said, for the Bomb champion, they just need to make this debuff cannot be resisted. Like, it's not about the champion, really. And then I think all these are good. Probably Inithwi. Yeah, Inithwi is just kind of similar to King Garog. Like, his skill kit are good. Like, the champions that he killed cannot be revived. Very good skill. Like, all these skills make sense. He just doesn't hit hard enough. Even though he has one of the highest base attack in the game in terms of attack based legendary. But this skill has a 3 damage multiplier. Which is, like, after book, it's not even half of Trana's A3. So maybe just make these hits a little bit harder. Give him like 20% more damage. Yeah, that's just my suggestion. And then the Undead Horde. Alright, Crypt King Graw. I think this champion is kinda shitty, unfortunately. I know people using him for AoE freeze in spiders, but literally an epic champion can do that. But he's a legendary. He needs to do more than an AoE freeze that can only be placed if the target is on HP burn. So he definitely needs a little bit more than that. I think just make this one an AoE freeze instead of attack 3 times at random. and he is fixed. And then let's see here. A lot of people saying Alligator is not good. I think this champion is solid. I don't think they need to buff him. And then Scartorsis is also solid. I think he's probably like Darth Microtransaction's favorite champion. I watched a video about him a couple months ago. He said this champion is his favorite. And then I think it's Blood Gorged. This champion is also kind of shitty now because like his A2 is fine, A1 is fine, A2 is fine, but A3, this is her signature. This is his signature skill, right? But literally, epic champions can do it better. Like look at Faceless, and Royal Huntsman just hits much harder. Like I think what this skill needs is attack one enemy, ignore defense, ignore shield, and ignore unkillable. And killed by this skill cannot be revived, and it's fixed. That's how it should be, because he has no place in the game, mainly because this skill doesn't ignore shield. Like make this skill ignore shield at least, just like Faceless, and make him have a little bit more base speed. Alright, then let's go to the second line. I think Suzerain Catan also needs a buff. I know his A3 is this buff removal cannot be blocked or resisted, but I still don't think this champion is good enough. Like, making this skill cannot be resisted still doesn't make this champion good enough. Like, he needs a little bit more than that. Like, maybe just remove the weaken part and make this make this one 100% decrease defense and remove the weaken part. Like, I just hate this percentage stuff. Like, he's not gonna place 100% weaken or 100% decrease. It's completely RNG. It's just kind of weird. Yeah, that's pretty much it. For the Dark Elf, let's see here. Alright, I think Astrolith is really good. I'm not gonna ask Plarion to buff her, but that's just the bump mechanic, right? The bump thing. I think all the bump champion in this game should be like this. Cannot be resisted. Alright, I think for this faction, the only champion that needs to be buffed is Queen Eva. I know she's a very good camping farmer, but it's not good enough. Her skills are not good enough. And maybe make this AoE as well. Like, being a pure camping farmer as a legendary champion is just not good enough. And she has really good aesthetics. I hope she can do more than that. Like, at least make her usable in dungeons. Maybe make her can do some poison or HP burn or something like that. But right now she's not good enough. And then let's move on to Knight's Rev. I think all these champions are cool. Like, all these legendaries are top tier right now. Void legendaries are top tier. And Versif, I didn't do many tests about him, but I heard from other content creators that he has the highest HP multiplier in the game, so he's probably fine. Probably just Thea. I think this champion right now has the worst in-game rating. So I think Fixed Neo has better in-game rating than this champion. Like, yeah, her skill kit just kind of weird. For example, this one, right? I think when I first got her, I made a video about her, like talking about this skill. This is just weird. Place a perfect veil on this champion for 3 turns, grant an extra turn. Like, why don't they just combine these two skills? This is literally a waste of turn, because it doesn't do anything. Like, just make this skill place a perfect veil on herself, then attack all enemy. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, now we have 2 factions left, Dwarves and Shadowkin. And for the Dwarves, like I said in my previous videos, I think Dwarf is the faction that has highest quality legendary champions. Pretty much all these champions here are very solid. Like, I don't have Samar, but like all these champions, all these legendaries I have are very solid, and I don't think they need any buff. And for Samar, like, I don't have him, but I do see some people using him in Platinum Arena defense, even though their defense are shitty, but at least I saw this champion are being used by some players. Yeah, and then we'll have the last faction, Shadowkin. I have these champions. I think mostly are fine. Just this guy here. this champion is really shitty. Like, I probably gotta give him a 2 on most of plays here. His skill just doesn't make sense, and even though he has a decent attack, base attack, but he actually doesn't have good multiplier. So I try to pair him with True Fear or Fear debuff, which is Mashalt. I try to use them together, but he just does no damage. Like, even though pair with True Fear or Fear, he just still doesn't do anything. So kind of shitty champion, and definitely need a buff. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if I missed any champion, definitely let me know in the comments below, and I will send this video to Playroom. Hopefully they take a look and buff those champions I talked about. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the champion rebalance patch, and I really hope they do it more frequently, because like, for example, for game like League of Legends, they do a champion rebalance pretty much every month. And this is a very good way to keep players talking about the game. I think I used to play League, but I don't play League anymore. So a very fun thing about League is every time a new patch come out, I just talk with my friends about, oh, this champion got nerfed, this champion got buffed. Like, this is a very good way to keep players interested in the game, and I hope players can do it more frequently. Like, just do some champion rebalance every 1 month or 2 months. Like, definitely not like once a year, because the last big champion rebalance I can remember was from last September or October. That's just too long ago, and I hope they do it more frequently. And yeah, that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.